Hello guys, how are you guys doing? You're welcome to my channel. My name is Sarah. Before I go into today's video, let me take some minutes to appreciate all my subscribers. Thank you and thank you guys. I really appreciate you guys. You guys are just busting my brain. Thank you. God bless you. And please, if this is your first time on this channel, or if this is your first time seeing this video, please hit the subscribe button. Thank you. God bless you. I appreciate you guys also. On today's video, we'll be cutting and sewing a ruched gown. And we have two methods in ruching a gown. The first one is elastic, while the second method is rope. You fold your fabric in a bias way and sew it. After sewing it, you pass it through the skirt or gown that you want to ruch. So guys, let's go to the cutting table. Thank you. Welcome to the cutting table, dear soulmates. Like I said, we'll be cutting a ruched gown, but we have to work on the half length first. So this is my half length. The length of this is 19. And I use the bust dart technique for this. I fold in my bust dart. After folding it, the waist dart is now open. I will advise when you want to do yours, you should come down from your bust point by 1 inch. You need to come down from your bust point by 1 inch because if you do not come down from your bust point by 1 inch, the dart will get to your bust point, and we don't want that. So you have to come down by 1 inch. Being this princess dart or shoulder dart in hand, you can just work with this. So now let's talk about the back pattern. The back pattern length is 17. I did the back tightening for this. I come in by 0.75 for my back tightening, and if you can see, the front and the back now is equal after folding the bust dart in. So now this is about the front and the back. Guys, let's talk about the sleeve. Please guys, I drop a link below on how to draft a basic sleeve. So this is my basic sleeve. I just slashed the middle because I want a bit of fullness on the sleeve. So when I spread it like this, it will be full for me. So now guys, this is all about the half length and the sleeve. Now let's talk about the skirt. I have a link on how to draw a basic pencil skirt. I just want to show you guys something on this skirt. This will be a straight skirt. So now to draft the skirt, first thing first, you get your waist to hip. The waist to hip is 9 inches. 9 inches. Then you connect the lines together. So these are waist to hip. Now, please, it's always good to label your pattern. This is my center front, while this is my side front. This is the waist. Always label your pattern, please. Hip, the hemline. So now we have to get our waist. We divide the waist by 4. The waist we are using is 37. 37 divided by 4 give us 9.25. So this is the 9.25 here. Then now we have to add 1 inch for that intake. So these are 1 inch for the dart intake here also. Now my bust span is 4.5. 4.5. To get your own bust span, you can use your waist divided by 8. So this is 4.5. Then you come up by 2 inches from your hip. This is the 2 inches. Then you mark 4.5 years also. And you connect the lines together. Now we have to open our dart. We can't just leave it this way. We'll open our dart by half inches here. half inches here also. Now we have to join this half inches mark to the dart leg like this, and you do the other side also, same thing like this. Now we have to get our hip line. The hip we're using is 44. 44 divided by 4 gives us 11. This is our 11 mark. Because this is a straight skirt, you bring your hip measurement down to the hemline, straight down. Had it been this a pencil skirt, you know, you minus 2 inches from your hip to the hemline, but this is a straight skirt, so you bring your hip measurement. We have 11 there, we bring it down here also. So now let's connect the lines together. We connect the waist to the hip like this, and connect the hip to the hemline on a straight line. You know, this skirt is a straight skirt. You can see the way I connected. This is how you connect yours also. Connect it like this, and this is it. This is how to draft a straight skirt. I don't want, you know, it's a ruched gown. When you ruch it finish, it will be, I don't want the gown to be tight, so I will come from this 11 mark on my hemline. I'll come out by 2.5 inches, and from there I will just connect it. I want it in a kind of, let me say, hairline. I don't want it straight, but I just show you guys how to draft a straight skirt. So now we'll be connecting this straight down like this. You can see how it is. Before I forget, the half length we used on the gown is 19 and the full length is 45. So these are full length here, and I add 1 inches for folding allowance. When you want to get this, you minus your half length the way I did mine, like this. This is 19. Depend on your half length. You put your half length like this too, so you can get the full length of the gown. So this is the full length of the gown. So the skirt length is 26. You can see I have 26 here. So now guys, let's cut this and draft our back pattern. So guys, this is our back pattern. Let's get the length of the skirt first. The length of the skirt we are working with is 26. This is 26. So now let's connect the line together. Connect on a straight line like this. After getting the length of the skirt, we have to get from our waist to hip. The waist to hip we're working with is 9. These are 9. And we'll connect the lines together. Okay. Now we have to divide our waist by 4. The waist by 4 is 9.25. This is a 9.25 mark here. After doing that, we have to get the darts. So the darts for our bust span measurement, we use 4.5. These are 4.5 mark here. 4.5 mark here also. Then you come up by 2 inches from your hip, and you connect the lines together. Now we have to open the dart on half inches. These are half inches mark here. These are another half inches mark here also. Then we connect this and connect this also to the dart leg. So now we have to divide, you know, we've top our waist measurement here. Now we have to divide the hip by 4. Hip by 4 gives us 11. 44 divided by 4 gives me 11. So now guys, you know we open the darts by 1 inches. We have to add our 1 inches back here. We've added back for the darts. Now, you know we tighten our half length by 0.75. We have to do the same thing also on the skirts to avoid those bulge we usually have on our gowns. So now we come in by 0.75. This is my 0.75 mark here. So now we'll connect this 0.75 to my hip line like this. 0.75 to the hip line. You can see how I connect it. Now we have to retake the measurement again. Now let's divide. 37 divided by 4 give us 9.25. After shaping in the back, now when we want to put our measurement, we have to put our measurement after this 0.75 for the back tightening. We'll put it this way. This is our 9.25 mark here. You can see now it's not corresponding anymore. This is the 9.25. Now we have to add 1 inches for the dart intake. This is it, 1 inches here. You can see how it is. I started taking my measurement after the 0.75. That's where I now drop my waist measurement. After the 0.75, you can see I didn't start from this place. No, I start after the 0.75. Now I drop my 9.25 here, then I added 1 inches for that intake. Now we have to connect this line to the hip. We'll be connecting our waistline to the hip like this, straight down. Now let's go to the hemline. The hemline, when you want to cut a straight skirt, you just have to bring your hip measurement to the hemline. So this is my hip measurement here, 11. I just bring it down straight. Then now you connect with a straight line like this. When you want your own gown to be straight, when you don't want pencil, this is how you connect it. But me, I don't want my own to be straight. I need a little bit of freeness there, so I'll add 2.5 to this. Then I add 2.5 to it. I will now connect from my hip line to this line here, to my hemline, straight down like this. When you don't want yours to be straight, when you don't want your ruched gown to be straight, this is how you do it. You connect like this, like this, straight down. Okay, so now guys, let me place this on my fabric and show you guys. Before we go guys, I'll be eliminating the dart. I'll fold it in. I don't want that on the skirts. No, I don't want that on the skirt. It's only on the half length I needed that. So now guys, let me place this on my fabric and show you guys. This is my back pattern. You can see I fold in the dart. I don't want that in the skirt. Now I added ½ inches on the waist area. I added 0.5 for the zipper. Then I added 1.5 for sewing allowance, the seam allowance that will be inside. Like I said, I'll be adding, I did 2.5 for the, I don't want it straight, so I did 2.5 here. Then I added 1.5 to the seam allowance. Then I cut it straight down. I have a pattern already. I just did that explanation so you can get it. So this is the back pattern. I'll be doing the same thing also on the front. So guys, thank you for watching. So guys, these are our front bodice. You can see how it is. When we get to the sewing machine, I will explain to you guys how to sew your darts here. And you know the half length is having darts, but the skirt pattern, I eliminated the dart from it. So now let me cut this and cut the back pattern also. Okay guys, I've gone ahead to cut the sleeve. You can see how it is. It's a bit full. I'll be passing, I don't know yet, but when we get there. Okay, now guys, let's go to our sewing machine to join this together. But we'll start with the half length. We'll be sewing our darts first. Okay, now I'll see you guys on the sewing machine. So now I'll be sewing my darts. The length of my darts will be 5 inches for the length. Then I'll come in by half inches. This is my half inches mark. Then I will sew. This is the back dart. You can see how it is. So this is our front pattern. You know, it has the, we use the bust dart technique. I have used my chalk. I've used my chalk to twist it out. And now I will sew on this line that I use my chalk to as a guide. I'll be sewing on this line. Okay guys, I'm done with the sewing of the darts. We don't need this, so we have to trim it off. Okay guys, I've gone ahead to cut the turning for the back and the front. So now we'll be turning the back. I'll be doing this for the front and the back also, but let's do for the back first. We'll be sewing on half inches. So now let me sew this and show you guys. After sewing, it's always good to launch your neck so it will lay flat. Just give it a little bit of launch like this. So when you turn it and give it a good press, it will be laying flat. You can see how it is. So I will go and iron this and show you guys what it looks like. So guys, I'll be using Emmy gum. This Emmy gum on the neck area because the fabric is a bit stretchy. To gum it like this. Let me do this for the other back also and on the front. Okay guys, I'm done with the pressing of the half length. Now we have to work on the skirts. To get the rope casing, I use my bust span measurement, which is 4.5. I fold it this way and mark 4.5 straight down. Now we have to sew our rope casing to skirts. So now the rope casing, I cut the rope casing by 3. Then I fold the edges. So now it's 2.25. Before we fix it, you have to fold the hem of your skirt first because this is the place the rope casing will be. So now we can now put in our rope casing, and you have to sew this rope casing down also. We've been inserting the rope casing like this, and we use our pins to secure it down. So now let me do this. Okay guys, I'm done with the sewing of the rope casing. You can see how it's laying. I use 3 inches like I said because I want the rope casing to be free. So when we are passing the rope, it will not be too tight for the rope. So now guys, we have to sew our rope. For the rope, I use 1.75 for the rope. After folding it, you can see I fold it in the bias way. It's now half inches. Here, let's say 0.75. This is 0.75. I'll be sewing this straight down. I use my pressing iron to hold this frame. You can see how it's looking. And this is the second one. So now let me sew this. Okay, so mates, I'm done with the sewing of the rope. Now we have to pass it through the skirt. So we'll be using our loop turner to pass this through. So So we're passing it through like this. I'm done with this. Now I have to pass the other one also. We're passing it the same way I passed this one. Use your safety pin, but I like to call this loop turner because this is the first loop turner before any loop turner came through. So now we'll pass this through the rope casing. So guys, I'm done with the fixing of the rope. You can see how it is. When you want to cut your rope, you can cut the rope the length of the skirt plus some inches. So this is it. Now we have to join it with the half length. So this is our half length. We make sure this middle line is equal with the dart. So now let's check. You can see, make it equal like this, and we'll join on 1/2 inches and come down like this. So now guys, let me join this and show you what it looks like. Okay, so mates, I'm done with the joining of the front. Now we have to join the back half length to the skirt. So we'll be joining on 1/2 inches. I will join this and join the other back also. Then I'll give this a good press. Okay, so mates, I'm done with the pressing of the gown, the front and back. Now we have to join the shoulders together. We'll be joining the back to the front on 1/2 inches like this. On 1/2 inches, the two shoulders. After joining it, I will also join the sides on 1.5 inches. Then fold the hem line before we start talking about fixing our zip and the sleeve. So now let me join the shoulders together, and you can see at the hem line I folded it on 1/2 inches. Now I will complete it when after joining the back and the front together. So let me go and join this. Okay, so mates, I'm done with the joining of the shoulders and the sides of the gown also. Now we have to fix our zip. So to fix the zip of the gown, you bring your zip. The front of the zip will be facing the front of the gown like this. So I'll be fixing this way, and I'll be sewing on this edge. So now let me sew this. I'm done with the fixing of the zip. You can see how it looks. Let me show you the way I sew. I sew on the edge. Can you see how it looks? Now we have to keep this aside. Now we have to join our sleeves on 1 inches on the sides. Then we'll fold it by 1 at the hem also, because we'll be passing elastic through the sleeve on the hem. So now let me join it first before folding it. Then I will show you guys. Okay, so mates, I'm done with the folding of the sleeve. Now we have to join the sleeve to the gown. But first thing, you have to launch the head of your sleeve like this. Now we'll bring in our gown, and we'll be joining the side of the sleeve, this place that has joining, to the joining of the gown, the side of the gown like this. You put the both together and you turn to this side. But before you join this together, you have to make sure this place is folded in. So now let me fold this place in and show you guys. Now I've folded it in. You can see I use my office pin to secure it down. Now we'll bring in the sleeve. be joining this, then you turn to this other side like this. You can see the way I turn to the other side. You make sure this lunge that we have here, is together with this joining at the shoulder. So now pin the sleeve and the gown together like this. And I will also pin the head of the sleeve to the shoulder like this. You can see the joining of the sleeve. And you can see the lunge that I launched on the head of the sleeve. So now hold this down also like this. So now let me sew this on 1/2 inch and show you guys. Okay guys, I'm done with the fixing of the sleeve. Now we have to pass in our elastic. We'll be passing the elastic, but before then, this is the elastic we are using to get the length of your elastic. This elastic is by 8. You measure around your wrist like this. So we have 7 here. I don't want it to be too tight. So you can see how it is. The 8 is plus joining allowance. So now I will use my loop turner to pass this. So now I have to secure the elastic to the fabric. So when I'm passing it through, it will not go inside the fabric. Okay, so mates, I'm done with the passing of the elastic on the sleeve. You can see how beautiful it looks. You can see this is the gown. I will display it for you to see. So guys, thank you, and thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate you guys. See you on my next video. Thank you. God bless you.